I gave Bai Ningbing financial support for 7 years, and I loved her for 7 years. In the end, she finally agreed to be with me. But only later did I learn. The one she loved was the childhood sweetheart who grew up with her. As for me, I was the one she hated most, because she thought every cent I spent on her was an insult to her dignity. So for 10 years after we married, Bai Ningbing was ice cold to me. Later, she even moved out and lived with her childhood sweetheart. I stayed alone in that empty house and withered away in misery. Then I was reborn on the day I decided to support her. Bai Ningbing's childhood sweetheart stood in front of her, furious. "So, what if you have money? We don't need it." I laughed. "You are overthinking it. I would rather burn this money than support either of you." "Fang Yuan, you think you're something special just because you have a couple of filthy bucks. You think money makes you better. We don't need it." Looking at Wang Dateng standing in front of Bai Ningbing, I felt dazed, and Bai Ningbing was standing right beside him. My eyes met Bai Ningbing's. The next second, I could not help taking a step back. I only steadied myself when my hand caught the table. How long had it been since I had seen Bai Ningbing like this? 10 years? Or 20? It had been too long. I could no longer remember. After all, that belonged to my previous life. Bai Ningbing looked at me, slightly stunned. Though Wang Dateng was still ranting, I could no longer hear a word. Everything before me was exactly like my last life. Back then, it was just like this. Bai Ningbing refused my support, and I insisted on giving it anyway. I had loved Bai Ningbing for 7 years. I also knew her family was poor. Her father only knew how to get drunk after gambling away all his money, then come home, then take his rage out on her and her mother. Her mother could not endure the torment and threw herself into the river. Since childhood, Bai Ningbing went out alone to collect scraps, worked odd jobs, and stayed in school by applying for student grants. But I had grown up in comfort, so we never should have crossed paths. But her grades had always been excellent, and to improve its college admission rate, my school recruited her with a scholarship. Back then, our circle was full of rich youngers. Their families had money, so they never cared about studying. They drifted through their days, waiting to go abroad, get a degree, then come home to inherit the family business. Only Bai Ningbing was different. She knew exactly what she wanted and studied hard in class. After class, she went to work. Though she had no money, she never thought poverty was something shameful. She was always neither servile nor arrogant. She was far too different from everyone else. So I fell for her, and I could not bear to see her suffer. I was young and foolish then. I was always so self-righteous, forcing everything I thought was good into her hands. When work left her no time to eat, I brought her a packed lunch from home. Bai Ningbing, my housekeeper makes the best Wagyu. Try some. There is foie gras too. My dad had it flown in specially. It smells amazing. Back then, I was the only son in my family. I grew up with everything handed to me. Everyone around me spoiled me. They spoiled me rotten and turned me into an empty-headed fool. I only wanted to give her the very best, but I never considered whether she wanted it. The classmates around us began jeering. "Fang Yuan, what would she know about foie gras? She probably can't even afford chicken liver. What the hell does it have to do with you?" I snapped back at them, but I did not see Bai Ningbing's fingers clench hard around the lunchbox. After a pause, she handed it back to me. "Thank you for your kindness, but no. Come on, Bai Ningbing. If you get together with Fang Yuan, you will never have to work again. Hurry up and latch onto him." "Exactly. Then your dad can spend as much as he wants. He will not have to touch your tuition money anymore." At that, everyone burst into laughter. I slammed the table, shot to my feet, and warned them, "All of you, shut up." The next second, the others no longer dared to laugh. But Bai Ningbing suddenly stood up. She turned and walked out of the classroom. I chased after her, trying to push the lunchbox into her hands. "Bai Ningbing, don't listen to their nonsense. Hurry and eat. You still have work tonight. Your body won't hold up." As soon as I said that, she stopped. Then she whipped around. I froze. Her eyes were full of hatred and disgust for me. Young people always have poor memories. Soon, I forgot all about it, and I kept pestering Bai Ningbing. For her, I even began studying seriously. Then I got into the same university as her. My father was so happy he could not stop smiling. He doubled my living allowance. But after Bai Ningbing started university, she became even busier. Her student grant application was rejected. Her need-based stipend was taken by a classmate too. At her worst, she could only buy one steamed bun from the cafeteria each day, then fill her stomach with free soup. I could not stand it and said I would support her. But she refused. She worked 3 jobs a day until she finally collapsed on the road. Only then did I lose patience and grab her. I insisted on giving her money. By Ningbing, why won't you take my money? What are you trying to prove? Exhausting yourself like this. Later, I even went to her class advisor. I forcibly paid her tuition. By then, I had learned a little sense. I knew I had to protect her pride. So, whenever I ate, I would always pull her along. I told her I could not finish and asked her to eat with me. When I went out for fun, I would say I had grabbed free vouchers and drag her along with me. Little by little, by Ningbing and I seemed to grow closer. I supported her like that until graduation. To make her happy, I even supported her childhood sweetheart, Wang Dateng, as well. After graduation, by Ningbing started her own business. Her grades had always been excellent. Back in school, she had built stock trading model software with a friend. But she hit walls everywhere. No matter what she did, she could not get investment. I could not bear to see her so defeated. So I went straight to my father and got him to invest in her. I remember that night, by Ningbing stayed silent. Just as I held her and was about to fall asleep, she suddenly spoke. Fang Yuan, why are you doing this? At the time, I thought she meant, why are you being so good to me? So I took her hand and answered as if it were obvious. Because I like you. By Ningbing, do you like me? I have been so good to you. If you still won't be with me, then you really have no conscience. Back then, I was only joking. But by Ningbing said nothing, so I thought she had agreed. And just like that, we became a couple. 2 years later, by Ningbing and I got married. We rushed through the wedding. By Ningbing said she did not like crowds. So we only invited a few tables of close relatives and friends. But they were all my relatives and friends. On her side, there was only herself. After marriage, by Ningbing was still cold to me. I was truly too foolish then. I thought that was simply her nature. I thought, after chasing her for so many years, as long as I kept treating her well, even if she had a heart of stone, I could melt it. But I never imagined she truly could not be warmed, because from beginning to end, her heart belonged to someone else. In the 3rd year of our marriage, the conflict between us could no longer be repaired. I could no longer endure her coldness day after day. I demanded to know if she loved that childhood sweetheart of hers. But by Ningbing only looked at me coldly. She said nothing. And when I pushed too hard, she simply slammed the door and left. Her emotional stonewalling drove me further into obsession. Whenever she came home, I interrogated her. During our worst fight, I lost control of my words. If I had known you were such an ungrateful wretch, I would have been better off raising a dog. At least it would know to wag its tail at me. The instant I said it, her face twisted with sudden fury. But very quickly, she calmed down again. After that day, by Ningbing stopped coming home entirely. Only later did I learn that she had long been with that childhood sweetheart of hers. They had built a new home outside. She had even become pregnant with his child. All those years, she had a happy, complete family elsewhere, while I guarded an empty house alone. All the love in my heart turned into hate. By Ningbing's business became a success. She grew even richer than my father. I had almost nothing I could use to hurt her. The only thing I had was my marriage. So, I staked my life on getting revenge. No matter what she said, I refused to divorce her, even if it killed me. She had ruined me. I would not let her live easily either. And the man she loved could only ever be the affair partner hiding in the shadows. The child she had with someone else could only ever be an illegitimate child in the gutter. By Ningbing did not dare sue me. She was afraid that if our marital dispute blew up, it would affect her company's stock price. The other board directors would never allow it either. And so, she and I dragged it out for 10 years. For those 10 years, no matter how hysterical I became, even when I later softened and begged, by Ningbing never softened. She never once came back to see me. And in that despair, day after day, I wasted away. I fell gravely ill. In the end, I withered away in misery. Fang Yuan, by Ningbing's voice jolted me back to myself. The hatred surging through my chest nearly made me unable to stand. After I was gone, she must have finally gotten what she wanted. Perhaps the way she treated me had always been meant to torture me. I still remembered that time. My medicine was suddenly switched. When I asked the housekeeper, she only said it had been changed to a milder medicine. But not long after I started taking it, my health began getting worse and worse. In the end, I could not even sit up. Not long after that, I died just like that. It was her, wasn't it? Other than her, who else could it have been? She hated me so much she wanted me dead as soon as possible. That way, she could marry Wang Dateng. How vicious. I looked at Bai Ningbing, barely suppressing the urge to rush at her and take revenge. I hated her so much. Aside from being young and ignorant back then, and not protecting her pride enough, I had never wronged her in any way. I had not even forced her to marry me. I had even asked if she was willing. If she was not, I could keep waiting. Yet this was how she treated me. Wang Dateng was just like he had been in my last life, shouting at me, "Fang Yuan, do you think money makes you so great? What gives you the right to humiliate people like this? Take your filthy money and get lost." I looked at him. So this was the man Bai Ningbing loved. The man she wanted so badly, she would let me die to be with him. It had been the same in my last life. Bai Ningbing and I had been talking calmly at first. I told her that if it made her uncomfortable, she could pay me back for the tuition after she earned money. She could treat it as a loan. But Wang Dateng suddenly accused me of throwing money at people. He said I was humiliating Bai Ningbing. Only later, through my fights with Bai Ningbing, did I gradually understand. So she had thought the same thing too. Suddenly, I found it laughable, watching Wang Dateng act so fiercely protective. I curled my lips. You're overthinking it. Even if I burn this money, I still would not use it to support you. As soon as those words left my mouth, Bai Ningbing's expression changed sharply. Wang Dateng's face went blank for a moment. What did you say? Didn't you say my financial support was an insult to you? We're all classmates. How could I humiliate you like that? Since that's the case, forget it. You two can keep working odd jobs. Wang Dateng's family situation was much like Bai Ningbing's. His father had run off with the money while drowning in debt. His mother worked to put him through school and ruined her health doing it. Now she could only lie at home. Perhaps because their circumstances were so similar. He and Bai Ningbing had always been close. He was always hovering around her. Whenever Bai Ningbing and I went out together, he always clung to her and insisted on coming along. Sometimes, I did not want him there. Then he would question me right in front of Bai Ningbing. "Fang Yuan, do you look down on me because I'm poor? Is that why you don't want to be friends with me?" Before I could even speak, Bai Ningbing would take his arm, her face full of displeasure. "If you think we're not good enough for you, then we don't have to go." So, I could only bring him along. And during meals, he would stare at the dishes and say, "Do you eat food this good every day? We really do come from completely different worlds." More than once, Bai Ningbing and I would be talking just fine, and he would suddenly say something like that. Then, the smile would vanish from Bai Ningbing's face, and she would stop talking to me. At first, I thought he did it without meaning to, until one time later, when I was walking ahead, holding Bai Ningbing's hand. Just as I turned back to say something to him, I caught the way he was looking at me. His eyes were full of malice and resentment. When he saw me turn around, he was caught off guard. Then he quickly forced out a thin smile. Only then did I suddenly realize that he disliked me. Or rather, he hated me. Actually, when Bai Ningbing and I first got married, we did have a brief period of harmony. Back then, her company had gotten on track and secured its first order. After the celebration dinner, she drunkenly wrapped her arms around me and smiled as she said, "Honey, what do you like? I'll buy it for you." I held her, feeling completely content, and said, "No need. Your company has only just started. This is exactly when you need money most. Knowing you want to is enough to make me happy." But she would not let it go. She hung from my neck and coaxed me. "A wife earns money so her husband can spend it. I'll buy you a car. What kind of car do you like?" Even as she fell asleep, she was still murmuring, "Fang Yuan, I have money now. You don't have to accommodate me anymore, or suffer with me." Sure enough, the next day, she bought me a car. Only, before I even had time to speak, Wang Dateng came along too. He looked at the car keys in my hand, his expression a little strange. Then he suddenly snatched the car keys from my hand. Then he smiled at Bai Ningbing and said, "Oh, I remember Fang Yuan already had this car back in college. A friend gave it to him, right? Back then, he even said it was too cheap to drive." Honestly, I had long forgotten whether that ever happened. But Bai Ningbing's expression instantly turned ugly. Right after that, she took the car keys and left with a blank expression. From then on, she began to grow cold toward me. Later, she even let Wang Dateng drive that car. One time, Wang Dateng was driving it when he ran into Bai Ningbing and me on the road. After getting out, he looked at me, his face full of smug pride. Yet he pretended not to care as he said, "Fang Yuan, Ningbing gave me this car. You're not angry, are you?" Of course I refused and demanded he return the car to me. A flash of resentment crossed Wang Dateng's face. You already have so many cars anyway. Why do you have to fight me for this one? You have so many, and I only have this one. Bai Ningbing pulled me away with a dark expression. Let go. If you don't even care about it, why fight him for it? Or do you just like taking things from other people? Back then, I was proud and hot-blooded. How could I swallow that? I fought bitterly with Bai Ningbing on the spot. Then we parted on bad terms. Only later did I understand. Wang Dateng had never been talking about the car. He was clearly talking about Bai Ningbing. He believed I had stolen her from him. That was why he hated me so much. Thinking of this, I finally snapped back to myself. Bai Ningbing grabbed me in a panic. Fang Yuan, wait. No, this is not how it should be. Why won't you support me anymore? Aren't you supposed to like me so much? Her expression startled me. Had she gone mad? What was wrong with Bai Ningbing? Was she angry because of how I had spoken to Wang Dateng? Was she having some kind of episode? After all, at this point in my last life, I had not won her over yet. She was always cold to me and barely ever smiled. I tried to shake her off. Let go. But she gripped me even harder, her eyes turning faintly red. Fang Yuan, don't you like me anymore? Are you abandoning me? This time, I was truly frightened. When had Bai Ningbing ever said something like that to me? My eyes widened. Bai Ningbing, did you take the wrong medicine, or are you under a spell? After I questioned her, she said nothing. She only stared straight at me without blinking. After what she did to me in my last life, she still dared to glare at me now. So my temper flared. Didn't you think my financial support was humiliating you? Bai Ningbing. Or do you have the damn nerve to expect me to beg you, while living off me and acting entitled? As soon as I said that, Wang Dateng's mouth fell open. He seemed not to expect me to speak to Bai Ningbing like that. Of course, in my last life, this was when I loved her most. Every word I said to her was careful, because I feared hurting her pride. But now, I did not care at all. Thinking that, I looked at her with contempt. Who do you think you are, Bai Ningbing? Heartless and ungrateful, repaying kindness with betrayal. I truly wonder how I ever fell for someone like you. My words were vicious, but Bai Ningbing did not get angry. Her face only turned deathly pale. I was a little surprised, but I still shook off her hand. Then I left without looking back. The card I had meant for Bai Ningbing held 200,000 yuan, enough to cover her tuition and living expenses. I took the card and spent it myself. Giving her the money would only get me dragged through the mud. I might as well buy another watch to wear. At least then I could check the time. In my last life, apart from that car, Bai Ningbing never gave me anything again. For birthdays, anniversaries, and holidays, I carefully chose gifts for her every time. But she could never remember, or rather, she simply did not care. Instead, Wang Dateng transformed into a rich young master. He used Bai Ningbing's money to shop everywhere, spending hundreds of thousands on cars, watches, and clothes. Every time he bought something, he would parade it in front of me. Fang Yuan. Ningbing brought this back from abroad just for me. What did she bring you? Don't tell me she brought you nothing. Then I would end up fighting bitterly with Bai Ningbing. Our relationship only grew worse. Thinking about it now, I was so rich. Why did I care so much about her buying me anything? I could buy whatever I wanted myself. On the way back to school, whether it was cruel timing or sheer bad luck, as soon as I got out of the car, I saw Wang Dateng and Bai Ningbing. When Wang Dateng saw the new watch on my wrist, his eyes changed at once. He could barely hide his hatred and jealousy. At this point, Bai Ningbing was still dead broke. He was a penniless loser too, dressed in shabby clothes. Wang Dateng stared hard at my wrist, his fists clenched tight. Fang Yuan, you really are loaded. That designer watch must be expensive. It could cover years of our tuition. As he spoke, he moved closer to Bai Ningbing and said beside her, as if casually, we really do come from completely different worlds. Whenever he said that before, I would always try to defend myself. But I was clumsy with words, and the more I explained, the angrier Bai Ningbing became. Now, to hell with that. I smiled faintly. Looks like you are not just poor. You are stupid too. You only figured that out now. Of course we are not from the same world. Wang Dateng's face went livid. For a moment, his features twisted. I walked over and said to him, word by word, Wang Dateng, you will never belong in the same world as me. So go ahead and choke on your jealousy. He quickly recovered, ready to play the victim in front of Bai Ningbing. Seeing that, I gave a cold laugh. What else can you do besides cling to a woman? You are like filth crawling in a gutter. No need to run to Bai Ningbing. You two are cut from the same cloth. Both of you are equally disgusting. After cursing out that shameless pair, I happily went home. It was not that I did not want revenge. After all, I had never forgotten how they tampered with my medicine in my last life. But for one thing, in this life, that medicine tampering had not happened yet. I had no evidence. And besides, I did not want to waste my life on trash like them anymore. One lifetime of being ground down by them had already hurt enough. In this life, I wanted to stay far away from that shameless pair. Whether they did well or suffered, it had nothing to do with me anymore. With this new life, I wanted a fresh start. Yet when I tried to keep my distance, they would not leave me alone. A few days later, a friend came looking for me on purpose, gloating as he said, "Since you stopped supporting by Ningbing and Wang Dateng, the two of them are in a terrible state now. They cannot even pay their tuition. I heard by Ningbing is working herself ragged outside. The other day, Wang Dateng even tried to buy a new pair of pants, but the payment failed over just 80 yuan. And also, they sold the phone you bought before, and barely scraped together the tuition." I thought about it for a long time before I remembered. Around this time in my last life, I saw that by Ningbing's phone was too old, so I gave her the newest model. Yet the very next day, I saw that phone in Wang Dateng's hand. Thinking of that, I lowered my eyes and said with a faint sneer, "Really, they must be pretty broke." But before I had taken 2 steps, Wang Dateng blocked my way. He was agitated, grabbing me with resentment written all over his face. "Fang Yuan, why did you stop supporting by Ningbing? Do you know her GPA is the best in her major? If her future is delayed because of tuition, can you bear that responsibility?" I froze at first, then laughed from sheer anger. In my last life, I had already understood exactly what kind of people they were. They wanted other people's money, but could not bear to lower their pride. They would take the handout, then curse the giver. So I shrugged and said, completely unconcerned, "What does her ranking have to do with me? I am not her father." "How can you say that?" Seeing familiar classmates gather around, Wang Dateng grew even more worked up. He pointed at me as if I were some kind of bully. "One watch of yours could cover years of our tuition. What is wrong with giving us a little financial support? Or are you really that selfish? So, willing to throw money away, yet unwilling to help people who actually need it?" He probably thought everyone was like by Ningbing, and would be brainwashed by his shameless nonsense. Before I could speak, my friend cut in first. His family was about as well off as mine, but his temper was far worse. He sneered coldly at Wang Dateng. "Which psychiatric hospital forgot to lock its doors and let an idiot like you wander out? If you want money, go beg for it. You may be ugly, but your fantasies are beautiful. Do it a few more times, and your tuition will be covered. You have arms, legs, and even kidneys. So, why have the damn nerve to ask other people for money? Are they your father or something?" Wang Dateng had always preferred quietly stirring up trouble from the sidelines. He had never dealt with someone this blunt and aggressive. For a moment, he was stunned speechless. He could not get a word out. The other classmates nearby also began speaking up. "Exactly. If you have no money, apply for a student grant. You are asking someone for money with that attitude? Shameless. People like that deserve to be broke." Seeing this, Wang Dateng took a step back, his eyes wide with disbelief. I sneered. I treated classmates to meals all the time, and I was happy to pay when we went out. Of course, they took my side. Looking back now, what did Wang Dateng have besides by Ningbing? There was not a single thing he could beat me at. If I had not been like a man under a spell in my last life, with eyes for no one but by Ningbing, someone like him would never even have entered my sight. Just then, by Ningbing suddenly arrived. Wang Dateng hurried over to complain to her. "I only asked Fang Yuan to give you a little support. He has money for so many watches, but he will not help you. I do not know how I offended him. He cursed me out horribly." His face changed at once, as if I had bullied him. "Fang Yuan, I know you look down on me, but I am only doing this for Ningbing's sake. She is so outstanding." I was utterly sick of it. Wang Dateng really would not leave me alone. No matter what, I could not shake him off. By Ningbing frowned slightly. "You cursed at him?" I could not help giving a mocking smile. Sure enough, she was always like this. As soon as Wang Dateng played the victim, she would lash out without asking what happened, scolding me at once on his behalf. Before, I would argue with her furiously every time, then secretly feel hurt afterward. But not anymore. I lifted my eyes and looked at Bai Ningbing. Yes, he is right. I did curse him out. Yet to my surprise, Bai Ningbing did not get angry. She lowered her head, her voice gentle, almost pleading. "Then he must have done something wrong and made you angry." Then, she turned to Wang Dateng and said coolly, Fang Yuan is not unreasonable. Apologize to him. I was stunned. For a moment, I almost thought I was still dreaming. Wang Dateng was dumbfounded too. After a long while, he still sounded disbelieving. Ningbing, what did you say? I told you to apologize. Wang Dateng was shocked and furious. By Ningbing, how can you do this? I was completely baffled too. By Ningbing was actually making Wang Dateng, the man dearest to her heart, apologize to me. Had she lost her mind? Could it be that she had been reborn too? But I dismissed that thought at once. Impossible. In my last life, By Ningbing hated me that much. Impossible. In my last life, By Ningbing hated me so deeply. She even switched my medicine. If she had been reborn, she would have stayed far away from me at the first chance. There had to be some other scheme. At that thought, I immediately pulled away, watching her warily. When By Ningbing saw the look in my eyes, she seemed hurt. Fang Yuan, I know I was wrong before. Can you forgive me? Don't you like me? Can we be together? I will make up for everything I owed you before. The more she spoke, the more emotional she became. Her eyes stared fixedly at me. Tears began to fall. It was absurd. I could not help clenching my fists. In my last life, I chased after her so desperately. I spent my whole life just waiting for those words. Too bad that, even at the end, I never heard her say she liked me. In this life, I cursed her and humiliated her, just as she claimed. And now she said she liked me. Then what did everything I gave in my last life even mean? A mocking smile tugged at my lips as I said in disgust, Be with me? By Ningbing, who do you think you are? What makes you think you deserve to be with me? One piece of clothing on me would take you 3 years of work to afford. You really think too highly of yourself. What right do you have to be with me? Did she not think I had humiliated her? Then I would let her feel real humiliation. Sure enough, By Ningbing's face turned pale. Then she spoke in a rush. I do not have money now, but can you wait for me? I will have money one day. She was not wrong about that. She would indeed become quite rich later. But what did that have to do with me? The hatred and revulsion in my heart were nearly impossible to hold back. I looked at her, my face full of contempt. By Ningbing, even if every other woman in the world were dead, I would never be with you. After I left that day, By Ningbing looked utterly lost. But in my heart, I only sneered. I had no idea what she was really up to. Maybe she had truly come around, or maybe her mind had simply snapped. Either way, the Fang Yuan who had loved her with everything he had already disappeared in my last life. He would never come back. Without my financial support, By Ningbing and Wang Dateng lived even worse in this life than in the last. By Ningbing's program failed to sell, and her startup failed too. I heard the two of them were now so poor they could barely afford food. But none of that was my concern anymore. Early the next morning, my phone rang. I picked it up, and a name appeared on the screen. Shang Xinqi. She was once my friend. Looking at that name, I felt dazed for a moment. To me, it had been more than 10 years since I had seen names like hers. When I was with By Ningbing, she did not like me having female friends, nor did she like my wealthy heir buddies. Little by little, I drifted away from many of my old friends. Shang Xinqi's family and mine had been family friends for generations. We had been close since childhood. That car from my college years in my last life was the birthday gift she gave me. Only now did I remember that she had said she had closed a major deal and bought it with the bonus her father gave her. She told me to treasure that car. Unfortunately, back then my whole heart belonged to By Ningbing. I had no attention left for any other woman. So I left that car sitting unused at home. When I answered, Shang Xinqi sounded excited. Fang Yuan, I heard you tore into that woman, By Ningbing. Before I could speak, she said excitedly, You should have taught her a lesson ages ago. She lived off you and still emotionally manipulated you. We never dared to say it before. You finally came to your senses. I smiled faintly. What is it? There is a gathering tonight. Same old place. 8 o'clock. You have to be there. After hanging up, I thought for a long time before I remembered. The old place she meant. It was a bar I used to visit often. A few of us childhood friends used to go there together all the time. But after I got together with By Ningbing, I rarely went out anymore. I had always loved having fun. But for By Ningbing, I rarely accepted invitations. I even stopped wearing luxury brands. Carefully, I picked out piles of cheap clothes that cost only a few dozen yuan. Also that when I stood beside By Ningbing, she would stop frowning. I no longer dared to eat at the expensive restaurants I used to frequent. On the rare times we went out, I only took her to a small snack shop for Xiaomai dumplings. I turned myself into someone timid and careful. All I wanted was for her to like me a little more. That night, when I arrived at the bar, Shang Xinqi was delighted and kept urging me to drink. I did not refuse. I savored that long-lost ease. These friends were actually good people, especially Shang Xinqi. Back when I got married, she told me to come to her if I ever felt wronged. She would help me teach Bai Ningbing a lesson. Later, she really did go confront Bai Ningbing. At that time, Bai Ningbing had just gotten pregnant. I was filled with joy. I thought having a child would win her heart back. I looked forward to the birth of that tiny life. But only later did I learn that the child was not mine at all. It was Wang Dateng's. Like a madman, I smashed everything in the house. Bai Ningbing and I fought bitterly. But Wang Dateng only pushed even further. He even called me on purpose at 2 or 3 in the morning and made me listen to the sounds of him being intimate with Bai Ningbing. I was sick with disgust. After hanging up, I rushed to the bathroom and vomited until the world spun. By the end, my whole body would not stop shaking. When Shang Xinqi found out, she was so furious that she went to confront Bai Ningbing. If I had not held her back in the end, she would have ripped Bai Ningbing's hair out. At that moment, Shang Xinqi's eyes were red with rage. She screamed at Bai Ningbing like she had lost control. How can someone be as shameless as you? Do you have no conscience? Fang Yuan treated you so well. How could you repay his kindness with betrayal? That time, Bai Ningbing did not fight back. She only kept her head lowered and said nothing. I was lost in those memories. When Shang Xinqi suddenly gave me a shove. What are you thinking about? Drink. So I clinked glasses with her and drained mine in one gulp. After several rounds of drinks, Shang Xinqi's face was flushed from the alcohol. Her face bright red. She leaned closer to me. You really do not like that Bai Ningbing anymore. I glanced at her. The moment our eyes met, her gaze immediately darted away. I found it a little amusing. I knew Shang Xinqi liked me, but in my last life, I had eyes for no one but Bai Ningbing. In the end, I even fell out with her over Bai Ningbing. Yet whenever Bai Ningbing treated me badly, Shang Xinqi would still step forward at once to defend me. If I were to find a wife in this life, I hope to find someone like her. Only now did I finally understand. Sometimes love cannot solve everything. Bai Ningbing and I came from completely different worlds. She had grown up in a family like that. Sharp, sensitive, insecure, and cold. I, on the other hand, had been cherished by my family since childhood. My family gave me the confidence to abandon everything for the sake of loving one person, and that became the reason for our tragedy. I thought love would be enough. I did not realize that someone like Bai Ningbing could not be warmed by sincerity alone. Thinking of this, I nodded. Yes, I must have been blind before. Shang Xinqi lowered her head and slowly leaned closer. Then look at me. But before she could finish, right then, someone suddenly grabbed my arm hard. I was startled. Then I saw the frightening look on Bai Ningbing's face. Come with me. Afraid of making a scene in front of my friends, I had no choice but to go outside with her. As soon as we stepped out, I shook her off. Let go. Are you sick? What madness is this now? Bai Ningbing said nothing. She only stared fixedly at me. Ever since the rebirth, her attitude toward me had always been obedient, almost fawning. But now, her eyes were red, and her face was full of strain. What did you just say? I froze, then said through gritted teeth. I said I do not like you anymore. I was blind before. You do not like me anymore. Bai Ningbing gave a strange laugh. Then she grabbed me by the collar. Say that again. Fang Yuan, when you said you liked me, when you said you wanted to be with me, when you said you would never leave me, was all of that a lie? She looked almost crazed, but I froze. No. In this life, I had not said those words yet. Those were clearly words I said before marrying her in my last life. How could she know? Bai Ningbing quickly realized she had said the wrong thing. Instinctively, she stepped back. Bai Ningbing, you came back too, did you not? Only silence answered me. After a long while, I forced out an ugly smile. Bai Ningbing, how dare you? So she really had been reborn too, after treating me like that in our last life. How dare she say such things to my face in this life? In my last life, I said those words, and I lived by them. But what was the result? I died with my eyes open. In this life, I had finally let it go. I only wanted to live well. Yet she tore my wounds open all over again. It was as if she were mocking me, mocking that I could never escape that miserable past. Panic spread across Bai Ningbing's face. Fang Yuan, listen to me explain. I was reborn too, but now I understand. In our last life, I was too stupid. I did not realize I had already fallen in love with you. Let me make it up to you from now on, please. With a sharp slap, Ningbing's head snapped to the side. I never hit women. I never hit women. I was only afraid she cheated on me in my last life. I never laid a finger on her. But this time, I did not regret it. I drew back my hand and spoke slowly, word by word. Ningbing, how dare you? How dare you, after hurting me like that, tell me so lightly now that you had loved me all along? The corner of Ningbing's mouth split open, but she only wiped it casually. Her voice was calm. If that was not enough to satisfy your anger. As she spoke, she grabbed my hand and pressed it to her face. You can do it a few more times. She was clearly saying something harsh. Yet in that instant, her eyes suddenly reddened. Then tears fell straight down her face. I was stunned. After all, Ningbing had never cried in front of me. In our last life, her hardest time was when her father spent all the tuition money she had worked so hard to save. Then he went home and gave her a beating. The next day, she went to school looking utterly wretched. But even then, she did not cry. Later, she worked 3 jobs a day. She was so hungry and exhausted that she fainted several times. She did not cry then either. For a while, I thought she had been born with a heart of stone. I never expected that she would shed tears in front of me. Ningbing bent at the waist, her face full of pleading. Fang Yuan, come back. Even if you hate me, you can take revenge on me however you want. Just do not abandon me. Ningbing, are you out of your mind? What is wrong with you? I was too insecure. Back then, I was guarded against everything. I thought everyone was determined to hurt me. You were so good, so outstanding. You and I were from completely different worlds. I did not dare like you, and I did not dare believe you truly like me. I thought I did not deserve you, that you were only playing with me. Fang Yuan, I was too stupid. I deserved to die. Hit me, curse me. I do not care. I am begging you, come back. The more she spoke, the more devastated she became. In the end, she broke down sobbing uncontrollably. You have no idea, in the years after you left, how I survived. I could not hold back anymore and let out a few cold laughs. Ningbing, was it not Wang Dateng you loved? In our last life, you drugged me. Was that not all for Wang Dateng? What drugging? You are still pretending not to know. Later, all my medicine was switched. At first, my health had clearly been improving. But the more I took it, the worse I became until finally, I bit down hard on my tongue, bitterness flooding my heart. My heart was full of bitterness as I bit down hard on my tongue. I bit down hard on my tongue, my heart full of bitterness. The woman I loved had tried to harm me for another man. Even saying it again made the pain unbearable. Ningbing looked frantic. I did not. I never did anything like that. I even told the housekeeper to take good care of you. How could I possibly hurt you? If it was not her, then the only people left who could reach it were the housekeeper and Wang Dateng. But the housekeeper had watched me grow up. Ningbing and I looked at each other, and we both understood. The culprit was Wang Dateng, so it had been him. I accepted that truth in an instant, but I had already died. Did it still matter who the culprit was? Even if Ningbing had not done it herself, Wang Dateng had harmed me because of her. At that thought, I felt utterly disheartened. An indescribable exhaustion rose in my chest. Love or hate, I was truly tired. In this life, I only wanted to stay far away from her. Ningbing looked utterly wretched. Rain and tears mixed on her face. Fang Yuan, please. What about Wang Dateng? You even had a child in our last life. How do you explain that? Ningbing could not speak. Only after a long while did she say with difficulty, he got me drunk. We only had that one time. I pulled out a mocking smile and said nothing. Seeing that, Ningbing lowered her head even further. From beginning to end, the only one I loved was you. I never loved Wang Dateng. But just then, from the darkness by the street, a gloomy male voice suddenly rang out. Then what am I? It was Wang Dateng. He stepped out of the shadows. His face was clearly expressionless. Ningbing, if you love him, then what am I? What was I, staying by your side all these years? Ningbing clenched her fists tightly. The way she looked at Wang Dateng held none of its former tenderness. Only hatred remained. From the look of it, Wang Dateng had not been reborn. That meant he had not poisoned me in this life. So I had nowhere to aim my revenge. Ningbing understood that too and said nothing. When Wang Dateng saw Ningbing stay silent, he froze on the spot. You hate me. Ningbing, you actually hate me. If you had not kept driving a wedge between Fang Yuan and me, we would never have come to this. Wang Dateng laughed and simply stopped pretending. I drove a wedge between you? By Ningbing, if you were not so insecure and arrogant, how could I ever have swayed you? You were the one twisted inside, wanting him, but too afraid. You kept staying with me to make him jealous, just so he would keep proving he loved you and feeding that twisted sickness of yours. And now you are dumping it all on me. As he spoke, Wang Dateng tilted his head and looked at me. His expression was full of confusion. Fang Yuan, you clearly already have everything. Why do you still have to steal by Ningbing from me? You were born well. You are good looking. Everyone circles around you, loves you, lifts you up. Whatever you want, they bring right to you. You do not even have to ask. So many people like you. Why do you still have to steal by Ningbing from me? She is all I have. Why, when I only have this one person, do you still have to take her away? You already have so much. By Ningbing is a person. Whom she loves is her choice. I cannot force her. Besides, I never won. In this game of love, I lost completely. Is that so? As soon as the words fell, Wang Dateng began walking toward me. Only then did I see clearly that one of his hands had been hidden behind his back all along. A sense of dread surged through me. Just as I was about to step back, I saw him suddenly pull something out. The next second, he charged straight at me. His face was twisted, his expression deranged. This is all because of you. As long as you are gone, by Ningbing will still be mine. What gives you the right to be so happy? Wang Dateng was too close. I had no time to dodge. But just then, a sudden force shoved me hard out of the way. In the next moment, Wang Dateng froze. His fingers began to tremble as he apologized in a panic. By Ningbing, I am sorry. I did not. I was aiming for Fang Yuan. I never meant to hurt you. I stumbled and looked back. By Ningbing seemed not to feel the pain at all. She looked at me with a smile. As long as you are all right. By the time we reached the hospital, By Ningbing had fallen completely unconscious. Wang Dateng was taken away as well. On the third day, By Ningbing woke up. I walked into the ward. So many words were lodged in my throat, but I could not say a single one. She was terribly weak, her face deathly pale. But when she saw me, she still managed a faint smile. Fang Yuan, are you all right? Why did you take that blow from me? I do not know. I just did not want you to get hurt. Wang Dateng had gone straight for a vital spot. Luckily, By Ningbing survived. What are you planning to do? Whatever should be done. I will tell the truth. He was your real husband in our last life. You even had his child. But he is the culprit who hurt you. Hearing that, I fell silent. By Ningbing coughed several times, her brows pinched with pain. Then she said hoarsely, I was horribly wrong before. If I said. Her voice choked up. Her lips trembled uncontrollably. I don't want to. You did save me, but counting our last life, we are even now, even though you shielded me this time. It cannot erase the hurt you once caused me. Her eyes reddened, and she clenched her teeth hard, refusing to let herself cry. But Fang Yuan, you once said you would love me forever. By Ningbing, you spent 10 years, wearing my love away, bit by bit. You cannot do this. You were the one who said you loved me first. You were the one who said you would love me forever. Before leaving, I turned back for one last look. By Ningbing had lost so much weight. The hospital gown hung loose on her body. Perhaps we had loved each other, only at the wrong time. After I walked out of the ward, I could still hear her sobbing in despair inside. But Fang Yuan, what am I supposed to do? What was the point of coming back? Just to hear you say you do not love me anymore. I lowered my head. My eyes were dry, and no tears would come. The next second, I strode outside. I kept going until I could no longer hear By Ningbing's wails. By Ningbing did not shield Wang Dateng. He was sent to prison, and the school expelled him. It was said his mother could not bear the shock and jumped from a building. 3 years later, I married Shang Xinqi. Both our families treated the wedding as important. They held a grand banquet, but just as the two of us were about to go on stage, my secretary suddenly trotted over. She was holding a red envelope. There was nothing written on it. Mr. Fang, look. There is a card inside this red envelope. I verified it. It is real, but there is no name. What would you like to do? Shang Xinqi and I exchanged a glance. We both guessed who had sent it. She smiled. Well, if someone is so eager to give money, just take it. And just then, my phone suddenly rang. It was a text. If one day you stop loving her, come back. I will wait for you forever. Shang Xinqi leaned over. Read the screen. and gave a cold laugh. Then let her wait. She will not get him even in the next life. Right in front of her, I deleted the text. Then I blocked the number. Only after that did I take her hand. I smiled faintly. Let's go. Everyone is waiting for us. But what I did not see was, at the banquet entrance, Ningbing was clutching her phone tightly, unable to tear her eyes from the bride and groom's names on the wedding welcome sign. Everyone knew that the memories of the previous life had already vanished like smoke. And this time, there was no chance to turn back. After my rebirth, I never thought I would see 20-year-old Fang Yuan again. In my last life, when the housekeeper told me he had passed away, I did not believe it. Only after I went back and saw his cold body did I understand she had not lied to me. I stood in the living room, my mind completely blank. When the housekeeper frantically helped me up, I realized I had fallen. I asked the housekeeper, did he leave any words behind? He did not say anything. Oh, so he had not left me even a single word. But of course, between us, everything that should be said had already been said. When we were young and in love, we used up every sweet word. Later, when we turned against each other, we kept stabbing at each other's sore spots. The good and the bad had all been spoken until nothing was left. It was at that moment that I finally felt the pain spreading through my heart. Fang Yuan lay quietly on the bed, without the slightest response. If he had seen me like this before, even during our fiercest fights, he would have come to check on me. He had always been that foolish. Only this time, he could not even give me one more glance. As I thought this, I did not feel sad. It felt as if I were considering someone else's problem. My body and mind seemed to belong to another person, sealed away from my aching heart. What should I do? He really knew how to make trouble for me. I still had a meeting tomorrow. Now it would have to be postponed. After all, I had to handle his funeral arrangements. My throat suddenly itched, and I coughed a few times. Then I saw the terror in the housekeeper's eyes. Madam. I lowered my head. Only then did I see the specks of red across my chest. Whose blood is this? I was faintly puzzled. Then the itch in my throat became harder and harder to hold back. The next second, I violently spat out another mouthful. The housekeeper nearly lost her mind, tugging me toward the hospital. But only one thought remained in my head. Oh, so it was my blood. After Fang Yuan was gone, I did not shed a tear. I even went home to pack up his things. He did not have much. He had once loved luxury so much. Yet now the room was empty. Even his clothes were only a few cheap street stall pieces. Good, I thought. After being tangled together for so long, it could finally end. Until I opened the cabinet and saw it filled with medicated oil. My leg had been injured before. He had found someone to make this medicated oil specially for me. Back then, I even teased him for buying so much. As he rubbed my calf, he smiled and answered, "What if we cannot get it later?" But after we married, I rarely came home. And every time I did, we only fought. I only used those oils a handful of times. Only then did I suddenly remember that we had once had good times too. They had simply been worn away by endless arguments and torment. Just then, I suddenly felt something warm and wet on my face. I reached up and touched it, only to find my face already soaked with tears. After Fang Yuan was gone, I did not forget him so quickly. Instead, he appeared in my dreams day and night. Once, it was when we were young. He casually shoved his lunchbox toward me. "By Ningbing, this is Wagyu beef made by my family's domestic helper. It is the best." How strange. Back then, I only thought he was spoiled and arrogant, and I was full of irritation. But now I suddenly realized that his blunt affection was actually very sweet. Only later did I learn that those Wagyu beef cubes were his favorite dish. He had only wanted to share something he loved with me. Only at that time, I was never worthy of such precious love. Fang Yuan came from a good family and was handsome too. So many people liked him. I could not believe he would ever like someone like me. I thought he must be playing with me. So I treated him worse and worse. I wanted him to leave. Yet again and again, I wanted proof that he loved me. After we married, our relationship seemed to improve a little. But Wang Dateng kept reminding me that Fang Yuan would never belong to the same world as us. He was right. The first time I had money, I excitedly bought him a car. But in truth, it was nothing more than a last season's model that his admirers had already given him in college. Back then, I did not understand my own heart. I thought I truly hated him. Yet I could not stop myself from moving closer to him. So, I kept bringing Wang Dateng in front of him. Also, I could confirm from his wounded expression that he still loved me. Later still, he changed in my dreams. He became the man lying in a hospital bed, looking at me with eyes full of ice. By Ningbing, I do not love you anymore. Then I would jolt awake and be unable to sleep all night. I had no choice but to seek out a spiritual master. Did he have some lingering obsession he could not let go? Did I need to perform rites for him? The master looked at me for a long time, then sighed. Benefactor, the one who cannot let go is not him. That day, I sat for a long time before I finally understood. It turned out I had already fallen in love with him long ago. In the 3rd year after Fang Yuan was gone, I began to lose myself to obsession. I ignored Wang Dateng and the child completely. No matter how frantic he became, I only said coldly, "You were the one who insisted on forcing this child into existence. It has nothing to do with me." On Fang Yuan's birthday, I decided to go find him. In 8 days, I thought, if only there were a next life. If I could start over, I would understand my own heart sooner.